logic and problem solving are key concepts that are essential to programming. In simple terms, programming is all about solving problems. To be a good programmer, you need to be able to break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable parts. This involves identifying the key elements of the problem and figuring out how they relate to each other. Once you have broken down the problem, you need to develop a logical approach to solving it. This means creating a step-by-step plan for how to solve the problem based on the information you have gathered. By following a logical approach, you can ensure that your solution is efficient and effective. Overall, logic and problem solving are essential skills for programming. By mastering these skills, you can become a more effective problem solver and create better software programs. There are several ways you can learn and develop your problem-solving skills for programming. There are many websites and resources available that provide programming problems and exercises to practice on. Start with simpler problems and work your way up to more complex ones. Here are some websites and resources that provide programming problems and exercises: HackerRank, LeetCode, CodeWars, Project Euler, Codility, CodeFights, TopCoder, Exercism, Codecademy, edX. These websites and resources offer programming problems and exercises across a range of topics and difficulties, so you can start with simpler problems and work your way up to more complex ones as you gain experience and confidence. Whenever you encounter a complex problem, try to break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. This will make the problem easier to solve and help you develop a logical approach to tackling the problem. For example, let's say you want to build a computer program that can search for a specific item on a website. This might seem like a complex problem at first, but by breaking it down into smaller parts, you can make it more manageable. One way to break down this problem is to identify the specific tasks involved in performing a search on a website. These tasks might include sending a search query to the website, parsing the website's response to the search query, identifying the relevant information in the website's response, displaying the relevant information to the user. By breaking down the problem into these smaller parts, you can focus on solving each individual task, one at a time. This makes the overall problem more manageable and helps you to develop a more efficient and effective solution. Let's say you want to create a program that will generate a random password for a user. This might seem like a complex problem, but you can break it down into smaller parts, determine the desired length of the password, generate a random string of characters that is the desired length. Ensure that the password contains at least one uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, one number, and one special character. Return the generated password to the user. By breaking down the problem into these smaller parts, you can focus on each individual step and make sure that you are addressing all of the necessary requirements. This approach also helps you to write more organized and structured code, which can be easier to read, understand, and modify in the future. Suppose you want to create a program that calculates the average temperature for a month based on daily temperature readings. This is a complex problem, but it can be broken down into smaller parts. Read the temperature readings for each day of the month. Sum up the temperature readings. Divide the sum by the number of days in the month to get the average temperature. Display the average temperature to the user. By breaking down the problem into smaller parts, you can focus on each individual step and ensure that your program is accurately calculating the average temperature. This approach also helps you to write more organized and modular code, which can be easier to test, maintain, and modify in the future. Suppose you want to create a program that converts a number from one base to another, from binary to decimal. This is a complex problem, but it can be broken down into smaller parts. Read the input number and its current base. Convert the input number to its decimal equivalent. Convert the decimal number to the desired base. Display the converted number to the user. By breaking down the problem into smaller parts, you can focus on each individual step and ensure that your program is accurately converting the number from one base to another. This approach also makes it easier to test, debug, and modify your code, as each individual part can be tested independently. Suppose you want to create a program that sorts a list of numbers in ascending order. This is a complex problem, but it can be broken down into smaller parts. Read the input list of numbers. Compare the first two numbers and swap them if they are out of order. Compare the second and third numbers and swap them if they are out of order. Repeat step 3 for each pair of adjacent numbers in the list. Repeat steps 2 to 4 until no more swaps are needed. Display the sorted list to the user. This approach also makes it easier to understand and modify your code, as each individual part has a clear purpose and function. Sometimes, visualizing a problem can help you better understand it and develop a solution. Draw diagrams or flowcharts to help you visualize the problem and its solution. There are several free online tools that you can use to visualize problems through diagrams and flowcharts. These tools provide a variety of templates and shapes that you can use to create diagrams and flowcharts for your programming problems. They also offer collaboration features, so you can work with others to visualize and solve problems together. Collaborating with other programmers can expose you to different problem-solving approaches and help you learn from others. Join online coding communities or attend coding meetups to connect with other programmers. Here are some free online coding communities where you can connect with other programmers: GitHub, Stack Overflow, Reddit's Learn Programming, FreeCodeCamp, Codecademy Community, CodeNewbie, Dev.to, HackerRank Community. These online communities provide discussion forums, chat rooms, and other features that allow you to connect with other programmers, ask for help, and share your own knowledge and experience. As you practice programming and solve more problems, you will gain experience and develop your problem-solving skills naturally. Reflect on your past solutions and think about how you could have approached the problem differently or more efficiently. Overall, gaining more experience in programming and problem-solving requires a combination of practice, exposure to different types of problems, and learning from others. By consistently practicing problem-solving and breaking down complex problems into smaller parts, you can develop your problem-solving skills for programming. Remember to be patient and persistent, as problem-solving is a skill that takes time and practice to develop.